What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you 3 recent returns that I got back in the mail and profile each of those individuals that signed autographs for me and tell you about their careers in baseball. Alright, so the first return is from former Houston Astros catcher Luis Pujols on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I happen to actually get the one Keebler sheet with Luis Pujols on there, so I ripped that one out and I sent it to him along with a senior league card and a couple original cards there. So let me tell you about Luis Pujols and his career in baseball. Luis Benvenido Pujols Torbillo grew up in the Dominican Republic and was signed by the Houston Astros at just the age of 17 years old out of the Dominican Republic to play professional baseball. At 17 in 1973, Pujols caught in 26 games for the Astros rookie ball affiliate. The following year, at age 18, he would go up to rookie ball, but would get promoted to A ball by the end of the 74 season. Luis would work his way up through the minor league system for the Astros until 1977. After splitting 58 games in AAA, he got his call up to the major leagues. He made his major league debut on September 22nd with the September call-up in 1977 and got one at-bat that game and did not get a hit. Luis would appear in 6 games to finish out the 1977 season, and then the following year would return to AAA, where he would actually wind up splitting half the season in their AAA affiliate and appearing in 56 games as the backup catcher for the Astros that season at the major league level. The following year, in 1979, he again would be delegated to AAA duties mainly, appearing in 105 games in AAA, posting a .249 batting average, but also catching 26 games at the major league level in 1979. Well, by the time his age 24 season rolled around in 1980, Luis was the backup catcher for the Astros. Luis would remain with the Astros all the way through the 1983 season at the major league level, and then would be returned in 1984 to AAA for the Astros, where he would catch in 110 games that year. Right when rosters were expanding in September 1984, Luis would be sent to the Kansas City Royals for a minor league player. Luis would appear in just 4 games for the Royals, and then they would release him from his contract after that 1984 season concluded. Well, Luis then would sign with the Texas Rangers. Going into the 1985 season with the Rangers, he only caught in 1 game that year, and just appeared in that 1 lone game for the Rangers in the major league level, and he got a card just because he was there for 1 game. Well, in 1986, he would appear in 51 games for the Rangers' AAA affiliate at the age of 30 years old and not get a call back up to the major leagues that season. Well, the Rangers would let him go, and he would then sign with the Montreal Expos. He would finish out that year with the Expos in 1987, appearing in just 9 games for them in their AAA affiliate. Well, at the point of his career at the Expos, some injuries took their toll on Luis. An injury that he suffered back in 1985 with the Rangers were starting to take their toll on him. He actually spent part of the 1989 season in the senior league, so he took a couple years off and then reemerged in 1989 in the senior league. And then after his stint in the senior league, when Philippe Alou became the full-time manager of the Montreal Expos, he was asked to join his friend Philippe Alou as the first base coach for the Expos. Well, he would hold this position under Philippe Alou all the way through the 1993 season to 2000 with the Expos. After his time with the Expos, he would then sign with the Detroit Tigers and become their AA manager. Well, before becoming the bench coach at the major league level in 2001, he then ended up being the manager of the Detroit Tigers after Phil Garner was fired 6 games into the 2002 season. After the 2002 season concluded, Pujols had a record of 55 and 100, and then was released from his job. He would then go to the San Francisco Giants, and he would then go rejoin Philippe Alou on his coaching staff from 2003 to 2006. After his time with the Giants, he then would go back to coaching in 2007 at the AA level for the Houston Astros. He would remain with the Astros organization off and on throughout the mid-2000s, basically. However, he did have a stint working for the Baltimore Orioles organization in the 2013-14 seasons. But overall, Luis Pujols has had a lifetime of baseball. He started out at just 17 years old playing in baseball and was able to turn his entire pro career, I guess you would say, as a player, a coach, even a manager at the major league level, then of course a manager at the minor league level as well. So I want to thank Mr. Pujols for signing my cards. I'd never gotten him before through the mail or in person, so we'll go on to the next return. Alright, so this next one is postmarked from Texas. And it is indeed former Texas Rangers first baseman great Peter O'Brien on 1, 2, 3, and 4. One Donruss Diamond King, along with a couple of other Rangers cards from the 80s there, along with his traded card from 1989. So let me tell you about Pete O'Brien and his career in baseball. Pete O'Brien's kind of one of those amazing stories. He was born in Santa Monica, California, and he attended high school in California as well. He was not offered a baseball scholarship to play at the collegiate level, and actually wound up playing a year at Monterey Peninsula College in Monterey, California. And after that 1 year at Monterey, he wound up moving halfway across the country and playing for the University of Nebraska. After his junior year in 1979, he was selected in the 15th round out of the amateur draft by the Texas Rangers. So this guy was a 15th round pick. O'Brien was assigned in 1979 to the Rangers rookie ball affiliate, where he appeared in 50 games. Well, the next year in 1980, he got moved up to A-ball, appeared in 134 games, and hit 17 home runs and batted .295 his first full minor league season. Well, the Rangers took notice and they tested him at the next level at AA, where he appeared in 110 games, posting a .285 batting average, and again hitting 17 home runs in 1981. The Rangers moved him up to the next level in 1982. He appeared in 128 games at their AAA affiliate, but this time he had 25 home runs and posted a .310 batting average in AAA for the Texas Rangers. Well, the Rangers certainly took notice of this and rewarded Pete with a September call-up on September 3rd, 1982. In his first game, he went 1 for 5 against the Chicago White Sox, and even drove in a run that first game with his first major league hit. Well, he would finish out the year with the Rangers, posting in 20 games that year for them in 1982. Pete would go into the 1983 season with the first base job his for the Texas Rangers, and he responded in his first full major league season by posting a .237 batting average and hitting 8 home runs. He would only continue to improve. In 1984, he would appear in 142 games. This time his batting average would jump to .287. He would hit 18 home runs and drive in 80 RBIs that year. Pete would be a regular first baseman for the Texas Rangers all the way through the 1988 season. And then, after that 1988 season, he was traded in December of 1988 to the Cleveland Indians for Julio Franco. So this is how Julio Franco wound up coming to the Texas Rangers. Pete O'Brien was sent to the Cleveland Indians. Well, Pete took it in stride, and his first year in Cleveland, he played first base for them. He hit 12 home runs, posting a respectable .260 batting average that year in 1989. Well, after the 89 season, the Indians decided to part ways with him, and he was granted free agency, and he signed with the Seattle Mariners on December 7th, 1989. In 1990, he would appear in 108 games for the Mariners, posting a .224 batting average, and just couldn't get his season on the right track. Well, the Mariners still had faith with him as a free agent, and the next year he bounced back, appeared in 152 games, and hit 17 home runs. In 1992, his batting average did dip at age 34. He did hit 14 home runs, and then the following, emergence, I guess during that 92, 93, 91 era, was the emergence of future first baseman Tino Martinez of the Mariners. So with that, Pete was delegated primarily to DH duties with the Mariners his last couple seasons, and then that made room for Edgar Martinez, who pretty much took over as the full-time DH, and that made Pete kind of expendable at that time. So, in 12 seasons in the majors, Pete appeared in 1,567 games, posted a 261 batting average and 169 home runs with 736 RBIs. His season highs were 290 in batting average, 23 home runs in 1986 and 87, and 92 RBIs in 1985. So, in total, Pete had a heck of a career. Ranging, from 1982 to 1993, so 11 years. And that's not bad for a guy that wasn't offered a scholarship coming out of high school and then was drafted in the 15th round of the Major League Draft. This is a 15th round pick. The odds of a 15th round guy or above making it to the major leagues, that just tells you the heart and dedication that Pete O'Brien had to only make himself a better ball player, moving up through the minor league system. So thank you very much, Pete, for signing those cards, and we'll move on to the next return. All right, this final one is postmarked from Florida, and it is a return from long time pitcher, starter, relief pitcher Don Robinson on 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got a nice variety of teams here, and I just want to show you the back of this guy's stats. Look at all those stats on that card. At my old age, it's hard for me to read all those. When I was a little younger, back in 1992, I could definitely read those. But another thing I want to point out is you can see Don with the lumber here on that card, getting ready to go up to the plate for an at-bat, and we'll talk about that in a second. So let me tell you about Don Robinson and his career in baseball. So Don Robinson was born in Kentucky, however he attended high school in West Virginia. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Pittsburgh Pirates out of his West Virginia high school. At 18 years old in 1975, Don appeared in 10 games for the rookie ball affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He posted a 2-3 record with a 2.45 ERA. The following year in 1979, he'd be tested as a starter, appearing in 25 games, posting a 12-9 record at their single-A affiliate. The next year in 1977, he would then be splitting the season between Double-A and Triple-A, and posted a 8-6 record in 19 games. Well, he made the Major League Club after an impressive spring training in 1978. At just 20 years old, he made his Major League debut against the St. Louis Cardinals. In his first game, he got roughed up a little bit. He pitched only 4 1/3 innings, giving up 5 hits and 4 earned runs, walking 2, but he also struck out 6. Well, Don would have an amazing rookie season, and it just is amazing to me this guy didn't win Rookie of the Year that year. But his first full season in the majors, he appeared in 35 games for the Pirates and posted a 14-6 record with a 3.47 ERA. His ERA was below Cy Young winner Gaylord Perry that year. How do you not win the Rookie of the Year going 14-6 with a 3.47 ERA? In 1979, he did not repeat his first rookie season numbers. He posted a split record of just 8-8, but his ERA was just 3.87. But he did appear on the 1979 World Series Championship Pittsburgh Pirates. The following year, in 1980, he would post just a 7-10 record in 29 games. And the following year, in 1981, he would have some injury problems and just post a 0-3 record in 16 games. The next year, however, in 1982, he would bounce back and he would appear in 38 games and he would win 15 for the Pirates that year, but he would lose 13. The injury bug returned in 1983 and 84. Primarily in 1983, he appeared in just 9 games. However, in 1984, he did have a solid season where he would appear in 51 games, primarily used as a relief pitcher at this point. Well, Don would stick with the Pirates all the way through the 1987 season. He would be used primarily as a relief pitcher from that stretch of time, after he came back from that injury in 84 through 87, as a relief pitcher, and would put up some very solid numbers for the Pirates. So during that 87 season, on the trading deadline, or around the trading deadline on July 31st, he'd be traded to the San Francisco Giants for Mackey Sasser. He would finish out the 87 season with the Giants that year, and then would start to re-evolve his career under the guidance of Roger Craig. The next year, Robinson would step back on the mound as a starter. He would appear in 51 games that year, but he would start 19 of those. He would post a 10-5 record and just a sparse 2.45 ERA. The following year in 89, Don would be a full-time starter and be part of that San Francisco Giants World Series team that went to the Earthquake Series. In 1990, he would come back. The magic wasn't there. He would post, a 10-7 record, still a winning record, in 26 games, starting 25 of them for the Giants in 1990. In 1991, he would post just a 5-9 record in 34 games that year. Well, after that 91 season, the Giants decided to grant him his free agency, and he signed with the California Angels. So that's him as an Angel there. He had some struggles with the Angels there in 1992, and they actually released him from his contract in May of 1992. He would then move across the country, essentially, and sign with the Philadelphia Phillies to finish out May of 1992. But he found himself again released from the Phillies in that 1992 season before it concluded. Well, this pretty much wrapped up the storybook career of Don Robinson after that 1992 season. Don retired and moved to Florida after his playing career ended. Something to note that I want to talk about before we talk about where he's at nowadays is Robinson was regarded as one of the best hitting pitchers during his time. During his time, Don had 3 Silver Slugger awards as a pitcher. Okay? He won those awards in 1982, 89, and 1990. In 1990, Robinson hit a home run while appearing as a pinch hitter against the San Diego Padres, becoming the first pitcher to do that since Gary Peters in 1971. Overall in his career, he hit 13 home runs, not bad for a pitcher, and compiled a .231 batting average with 47 runs and 69 RBIs. Now for his pitching record, he was over 500, which is still pretty impressive for his era of pitching. He had 109 wins, 106 losses, a 3.79 ERA, all ranging from 1979 or 78 as a 20-year-old rookie to 1992. So this guy pretty much played parts of 15 seasons in the major leagues. He was a two-way player in the fact that he could also pop a home run on you, and get an extra base. So very good fundamental athlete Don Robinson was. Now I'm sure Shohei Ohtani has hit a pinch hit home run. I'm not positive on that, but I'm sure he has. So technically, if you want to look at Ohtani as a pitcher hitting a pinch hit home run, I'm sure that's happened since Don Robinson's done it. So I want to thank Don for signing for me. I also want to thank Mr. O'Brien for signing his cards as well for me. I also love getting Diamond King signed. Those are always fun collectibles. I also want to thank Mr. Pujols for signing his as well. One thing I do want to mention about Pujols, before you might be wondering, I should have said this during his video, is Luis Pujols is a distant cousin of Albert Pujols. So, according to some sources that I found online, Luis is a distant cousin of the great future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols. So thank you for taking the time watching this video with me. I look forward to your comments below. I hope you enjoyed some of these players from the 1980s to early 90s era. And as always, happy collecting.